He's not dealing with reality. He's not a regular guy. This is what's going on in Washington now. Like, you're not above everybody else. You're just like the rest of us. And meanwhile, your digital fingerprints are all over your Twitter. For all of us. I mean, people who are watching this show right now, everybody who's tech savvy, if you hit the send button on an email, period, end of story, it is there forever. We can always go back and get it. When you make that mistake in Twitter, if you're familiar with Twitter, you can direct message to, like I have 16,000 people who follow me. I can send a direct message to them, or I could by accident send it to all 16,000 people. That's what he did. He made a mistake. Nobody hacked into his account. It was easy to find that out, and that's what he went with first, and that's just dumb. And that's what everybody, like college kids today, be really careful about the internet. If you say it, it is permanent. If you ever email it, it is permanent.
I like to say the same thing. The internet is forever. And, you know, that's, I think, what a lot of high schoolers maybe don't understand, but certainly Anthony Weiner, a sitting member of Congress, you would think would understand that. And I guess the bottom line, Uma, here, and I guess this is kind of a boring way of framing a story that everyone's all titillated over, but now that we know most of the facts at least, it just appears that Anthony Weiner did exactly what we all thought he did from day one. And I mean, it's a very simple explanation. It's a sad state of affairs for his wife. I think he's an embarrassment at this point, and I completely agree that he has no business remaining in the House.
But let me ask you this: why, you know, when Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House, and there were a few congressmen who went astray, and she was really on top of it, you know, all over it, saying we needed to call for investigations and get them out of the way. On this one, she's calling for an investigation, but she's been very silent about overall her criticism about the congressman and handling it in a very different way. Your response to that?
It's just typical old D.C. I mean, I don't care if you're Republican or if you're Democrat. If you do what he did, you should be called out for it, period. It doesn't matter what your politics are. And the thing is that when we talk about, I think high school kids do know you don't do this. That's why high school kids, they clean up their Facebook before they apply to college, because they know that. But even the stuff that you clean up, like what he did is he went in and he deleted the direct, it doesn't matter. There's screenshots of they had that, the press had it. It was over for him the second that he hit that. I think high school kids know more than he knows,
I'm sure of
and that may speak to the generations. I mean, I believe he's in his 40s.
48.
I just hit 50. I was going to say, so am I, but I'm one level up now. But the younger generations all understand that what you're doing online, it is permanent. Don't say one single solitary word for the rest of your life online unless you want it to come back to haunt you.
As a blogger, that's scary.
Yeah, sure. There you
Seriously.
go. I mean, you're a blogger. You know, whatever you put out today can haunt you 5, 10 years from now. You've got to be very cognizant of that fact. But I think people just put it in their heads that, you know, it's out there in the ethos. You know, they don't feel like it's, you know.
I don't think so. I think it's
generationally. I think kids know. I think you're right.
Well, yeah, but that's.
I think adults.
But that's what's going to win elections. Like, you know, just speaking to the governor and his son, you know, in the green room before they came in there, I was talking about their social networking strategy and everything that Obama did and everything that McCain did during the last election, and they know so much. I mean, college kids now, if there's pictures of them on their Facebook drinking alcohol and they're underage, which many do, and used to always put on their Facebook, they don't do that anymore. They get rid of all those pictures years before they're ever going to apply. They never should have put them on in the first place. That's you know, forgivable. I'm not condoning it, but it's forgivable. What he did, there was a complete lack of understanding of technology and a very, very fundamental flaw in character by, you know, denying and lying.
I'm going to throw one other question out there about society. Do you think it's the media that's really caught up in the story, or do you think the public at large is as interested in the salacious aspects of this particular topic? I mean, people like to say, oh, you know, they like to poo-poo things like that. Oh, I'm not interested. I didn't read that. But on the other hand, what is it about our culture right now that wants to hone in on this kind of story when there's so many other things going on?
You know what? I've watched so many shows in the last 24 hours on the topic. What about the debt ceiling? Like, that's kind of a real issue, but now this is all we're talking about. Because actually the country is interested in stuff like this. It's the same reason that, you know, Star Magazine or the National Enquirer sell so many issues more than, you know, what would be considered more credible, you know, newspaper.